Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Episode 2 of my Tummy in 10 series. And today, back in my natural habitat, back in activewear, back on the mat. And I'm going to be taking you through some of my core exercises that I do to prep myself before doing headstands. It's very good for if you have lower back pain, just to really get the core working, firing up. So I wanted to make sure that I shared with you the core exercises that you should be able to do as a minimum before flipping yourself upside down, and we are strong enough and we have that core foundation. Because if you don't have that core and you don't have some of the upper body strength that we need and a bit of the mobility as well, going into headstands is going to be a little bit dangerous. So let's dive in. Okay, so ideally you would have done some mobility. I mean, this is a Tummy in 10, we don't have time for that. We are gonna do a pre-activation and then we're gonna get into the core burning bit. You're gonna come into kneeling. You wanna make sure knees are underneath your hips, wrists are underneath your shoulders. Now from here, first level to get that core active is to just lift one hand up, the other hand up, core is nice and tight, and then we're going to take one leg back, we take the other leg back, and so on and so on. The next level from there is to just extend opposite hand and opposite leg towards the floor, and again we just keep it nice and low, we keep it controlled. Your back doesn't want to be rounded, doesn't want to be curving, sticking that bum out. You've got the neutral spine, which means it's in that natural, the optimum position. That's the word. So as you extend it out, squeeze that belly button in, push your hand down into the floor, squeeze your glutes. And then the next level is, of course, going into our bird dogs or Supermans, whichever name you want to go for. It's all about keeping that control. Now you want to make sure your weight doesn't shift. So when I extend out, I don't have any of this like wobbling side to side. Core is nice and tight. You want to stay as strong as possible. So it's going to activate through the core. It's going to work the shoulders. You should be feeling those glutes as well start to fire up, especially the one that's kneeling. Exhale as you extend out. Inhale back down. Last time, extend out. And then inhale back. From there, we're going to flip it over and we're going to go into our dead bugs. So basically the same thing, but we're going to go upside down in that tabletop position. So float the hands and the knees. Same again, hands directly above your shoulders, knees directly above your hips. But this time you're going to extend straight away, opposite arm, opposite leg. Now you want to push your spine into the floor. If you're a little bit like me and you've got quite a curved spine and it arches a lot, you have to really fight against curving your spine. You have to push it into the floor as much as possible. Now, if this means you only extend your leg a little bit, you shoot it upwards, that's absolutely fine. If it means that you can extend it a little bit lower whilst keeping that back flat on the floor, then you go for it. Oh, I'm going to kick the side. There we go. Good. So this again should start to activate through that core. You should be able to do these moves for 30 to 45 seconds, a minute if you can, just to really make sure that everything is nice and active and nice and tight. Now from here, we're going to go into some short hollow holds. So extend your arms and your legs up. You're going to lift the head and shoulders up, bring your arms down, and then slowly lower those legs. Again, you only lower as much as you can keep your back on the floor. I've got long, heavy legs, so mine don't go that low. Good. And then we just take a moment, we come back. We're going to go for 10-15 second bursts here. We extend out. Good. Again, head and shoulders lift up. Lower back is against the floor. We want to activate your rectus abdominis, those core muscles that lay on the top. Now this next one, hollow hold, you're going to extend the arms above your head. This is perfect as well if you're practicing headstands. So you want to, also handstands, you want to do exactly the same. Extend the legs, extend the arms, lift the head and shoulders up, hold and embrace that shake. Woo! Good, so you want to keep holding it there. Now this dish position, you want to make sure that you're really scooping round. So you're not in this hyperextensive position and you're tilting, tucking your tailbone under and really working that core up. So making sure that your hollow hold, you can hold this position for around 30 seconds. And embrace that shake. Okay, next move that we are going to do. When we do a headstand, we take actually quite a lot of the weight through our upper body, through our shoulders. It's not all through the head, which I'll explain when we actually come to do that video, but you want to make sure the shoulders are strong. So it's a plank, obviously. We're going to have elbows directly underneath your shoulders. We are going to bring our hands together, interlace those fingers, tuck the toes under and straighten those legs out. Now with this move, we have no seals, please, no clapping seals, and we don't want any yogi bottoms sticking up either. We want to make sure that we push those shoulder blades apart, we tilt our tailbone under, we squeeze the bum, we squeeze the thighs. From here, we just breathe. We're looking towards our fingers so we get a nice neutral spine through our neck, and we should start to shake. You want to feel like you're almost rounding your spine. So we're in this position. You don't want to be like a flat plank because our spine isn't going to be protected there. You're not going to be using that core. As soon as we do this pelvic tilt, we activate our core and our glutes start to work. Thighs want to be squeezed as well when we do this move. We just breathe here. And then from there, we're going to take it up a notch, coming up onto our hands into our commandos, making sure that shoulders and wrists are directly underneath, and then we drop down. Now with this move, you want to make sure you're pressing up on both sides. So if you're like me, you're stronger on the right side, you got to make sure you press up on the left side as well. So we're coming down, coming up, coming down, coming up on both sides. Okay, now we've got one more move. It's quite shoulder heavy and quite wrist heavy. Great for those of you that are building strength in your handstands, but also it's going to be working through our obliques, through that waistline, that side of our body. So high plank position, your feet are a little bit wider than hip width apart. You collapse the heels to the left side, bring the right hand up nice and high. From here, you should be able to look down, see wrist and shoulder are stacked, lift those hips up, squeeze up nice and high. We just go for 5, for 4, for 3, 2, 1. Place the hand down, and then we take it across to the other side, making sure, again, everything is stacked. We squeeze, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we bring it back. Now with this move, you can add it into mobility, you can just make it single, or we can really focus a little bit more on working those obliques by squeezing the hips up and working this area, your internal, external obliques between your ribs and your hips. So those moves are some of the core exercises, no pun intended there. They're some of the core moves that I will do before doing my headstands. They are some moves that will get you stronger for when you come to do headstands if you've never done them before. These are really important to make sure that you've got them in your workouts before, after, whenever it may be, just simply because we want to protect our spine, especially up here in your neck, which is why some of those moves are quite shoulder heavy. Let me know how you get on. Would love your feedback, and please do share, like, comment, just so I know these videos are helping you. I will be doing a how to get started doing headstands, so that is going to be in one of the next tell me in 10 videos. But yeah, please do let me know how you get on and enjoy the rest of your day.